Hey everybody, welcome back to BlockRoots. I hope you're having a great weekend. I am Josh, and on behalf of Cantor and Clark, we just want to say welcome. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so below. It's super easy. You just click on that red button. It says subscribe. You get notifications from us. That always helps us out because we want to engage with you guys. We want to hear back from you. If you leave a comment, each and every week we give away Bitcoin. I did say a couple days ago I was going to go ahead and give away Bitcoin this weekend. Now $100 of Bitcoin, not a full Bitcoin. I wish we could do that. If we could do that, we certainly would, but we'll give $100 of Bitcoin away today for somebody who commented on one of this week's videos. So with that said, we'll go ahead and talk about the market. Nothing is financial advice. We'll talk about Bitcoin, Chainlink, Tezos. We'll also talk about Phemex. I know that I shared about that a couple of videos ago. So did Cantor and Clark. But there has been some stuff come out, I know, on crypto Twitter. And there's some stuff as far as who promoted it originally. And so we'll talk about that. And really, in the end, that means nothing because we're looking, again, at an institutional grade platform with security as well as speed that you're not going to find anywhere else. And we'll go ahead and stand behind that. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the video. If you're a trader, I'd encourage you to watch that. I'll also encourage you because there are some updates in the user interface with Phemex as well. I have personally been able to talk to their developer team as well as their CEO, and we have been talking about how they can improve their user interface to have an attractive user interface that's intuitive. So I'll tell you about that at the end. If you want to hear about that, that's great. I'll also give away Bitcoin in between, but we'll go ahead and we'll look at the markets. Now, before we start, as always, if you're not a member of BlockRoots, we do have an educational platform or program where we talk about trading and investing. A lot of good stuff in trading that you're not going to find anywhere else. And so what you'll notice when you sign into BlockRoots, we have hours and hours of video and content. So on everything that you can think of, you can click on it. You can go through each and every video. Really cool as far as the platform that we actually built ourselves. This was actually hand-built by some developers that we hired to do this to get the best looking website as far as education for crypto assets. So again, check out blockroots.com. If you haven't yet, would love to have you a part of the community. So with the Bitcoin chart, we are coming up on the weekly close for this week. And so this is the daily chart. And as you can see, I did make a downward channel that we talked about last time. What I've done with this downward channel, what I enjoy doing a lot of times is actually making two trend lines. Trend lines, if there's several wicks on the outside and trend lines on wicks on the inside. Because what you'll typically see is that price can actually bounce off the inner line and then move down when a lot of people are expecting it to go to the upper bound of the downward channel. So now the good thing about a downward channel is they tend to break to the upside. So that's a bullish case as far as the downward channel. It just depends on where that actually breaks up. Now, this is the daily chart again. The main thing to look at is going to be the weekly chart because we know that we have the weekly close today, and then we know that primarily trends are based on the weekly chart. So if we go ahead and look at the weekly chart, you're going to notice, right, that we're technically still in an uptrend, right? We haven't really made a lower low yet, and we're not going to make a lower low really until price moves below this area. Now, some would argue 9,300, right? The area that I actually talked about earlier this week as a primary area that I want to watch. If price can stay above 9,300, I am certainly bullish, especially on the weekly. Now, some would also argue, though, that price needs to stay above this area, the previous local high that we had before for the weekly close, and that's around 9,556. So right now, we're sitting at 9,922, and even though we did have a downward wick, notice how it got bought up, right? That tends to be, more bullish when you have the doji towards the higher side, even if it is down. That is a good sign. So on the weekly, for sure, if we stay above 9,556, I would say that's actually a good sign. I did tell people that I did have shorts lined up around 10,000 to 10,200. Based on the close today, based on price action, I might actually lift those offers up and look for longs here in a moment. But as far as the weekly, if we can stay above 9,556, specifically, I'd really, it has to stay above 9,325 at least, this kind of higher volume node. If it can do that, it's going to tend to be a little bit more bullish for me. And again, this is not a downtrend when it comes to the weekly. It's a downtrend when it comes to the daily and below. And so again, if you go ahead and move to lower time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15-minute chart, well, certainly it's a downtrend. But again, this can certainly break out. So you're going to notice that price bounced off these major areas that I marked on the weekly, right? So price has been able to stay above it even on the daily, which is again, is a bullish sign when that happens. And then I've also talked about how this high volume node right here, if price was able to stay above this area around 9,800 or bounce above that, right? Then that would be bullish as well. So we could see price come back down, bounce off this, and continue to move up, and really continue to make an uptrend, right? So just be aware of that's the bullish case where we need to stay above when it comes to the weekly. And honestly, I don't really want to look anywhere further than that. I want to look at 9,300, and if it breaks there, it's certainly going to go down here to this area, which is around 8,700, right? This area right here. So be on the lookout for this. If this breaks, we're going to go down to retest 8,600. And again, there's probably a lot of buyers sitting there because the high volume node tends to be the price that it's most traded. It shows you that. So supply and demand seems to be good there. I would expect a bounce there. So we've got a downtrend on the lower time frame, but we still have an uptrend on the higher time frame. So if anything, that's a good reason to be bullish. And there's a big reason why we have to take it level by level, right? There's no reason to say 20K, 15K, 12K until we even break 10,200. There's no reason to say 7K, 8K until we break 9,300, 8,600. So that's the best case scenario, is to play it level by level when it comes to trading or investing. Now let's look at a couple different altcoin charts right here. I know I talked about Tezos here on Twitter, and I'm just going to go ahead and just show you the chart that I have. I'll go ahead and go to the link chart after this. But when it comes to Tezos, notice that, again, there's not a lot of price. It's in price discovery, and there's not a lot of support areas in between. This is actually the 2 hour chart. So again, you have to go to the lower time frames, the 2 hour, the 4 hour, even to find support. There's no support on the weekly time frames and the higher time frames because the price is just shot just straight up. And so when that happens, you tend to see pullbacks go way down. So it's much better to look on the lower to mid time frames to see where there's possible support areas. For me, I put a check mark around 257 and 217. If price currently pulls back from the mid to high $3 range, I could foresee it going down to at least 257-ish, and that's where it would be, for me, would be a potential buy-in place. I'm not in Tezos yet, so for me to just jump in Tezos over $3 doesn't really make a lot of sense to chase it. Even if it goes to $8, I don't really care because the risk is not worth it to me. I can trade Bitcoin. I can put a long on Bitcoin. I can put a short on Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I can make just as much money in that of an altcoin flip like this. So I'm not really worried about it. Because again, I trust Bitcoin a little bit more to trade that than I do this Tezos chart that could pull back at any time. But again, it looks really good. A lot of people like Tezos. I think it's great for the long term. I think it's going to continue to pump due to the staking or baking that you can find on exchanges such as Coinbase. Now, as far as Chainlink, right? Link has been dominant as well. Now, the good news, if you were to zoom out, right? I mean, I can't believe that Link was as low as 42 cents, last year, or even lower than that, right? It was, 19 cents. Wow, unbelievable. Back during the Bitcoin low at 3,000. But since then, right, it took off, and then now we're up in this range. So Chainlink has actually came up, and now it's ranging, and it's above this range. And so for me, all I have to say is I don't really ever foresee it coming down unless Bitcoin pulls way back, unless we get like a 4 or 5K Bitcoin. I don't see Chainlink coming down underneath this 172 to 179. And even at that case, this is the bottom of the range right here. So I actually marked off a lot of different areas as far as interest to me when it comes to buying this. You're going to notice the previous support area that acted as resistance was around 373 to 386. So you're going to notice that area is probably going to be where Chainlink will pull back. So Link should pull back in this area. That'll probably be buy for a few people. But if you look on the right-hand side, again, this is the volume profile or the volume profile visible range, the VPVR. You're not going to notice there's not a ton of back and forth buying up here as far as the volume per price. So for me, that doesn't really come until you get way down here to around under $3. So I'm probably not going to buy into Link either. If I'm not in Link yet, I'm not going to buy it unless it goes into $3. I know that that's a long way away. If I want to put a short-term trade, if Bitcoin is trending well, If it's not going to pull back anymore, if it continues an uptrend, Chainlink falls to around 386 to 373, then that could be a potential swing trade for me that I can put in as Chainlink continues to go higher. But again, people say, well, you're going to miss out if you don't buy now. Yeah, but again, is the risk worth the reward? If you're a trader, you can always go and place a long or a short on Bitcoin rather than trying to chase altcoins that have already pumped 2x, right? So as for me, that's what I'm looking for. We went from 172 to up to almost $5. That's a 2 to 3x pump. I'm not going to chase that. I do believe eventually there will be some taking profit. There was some up here, but I think that when it comes to really stable, secure supports, you really don't see that until below $4. Specifically for me, I see it really around this area. So notice how it acted as a resistance, right? Quite a bit right here, and that's going to act as support, and also the high volume nodes also start to show right here that there's a lot of interest starting in this area below 284. So as low as it goes, I don't think it goes below $2. If it does, then 179 to 172 is definitely the buy where you want to buy in at. For me personally, I would buy pretty hard in that area, thinking that it would keep in this range and then continue to bounce up. I don't think it gets that low again, unless Bitcoin really does a pullback. So just be on the lookout. These are a couple different spots that I'm looking at as far as Link. Now let's go ahead and draw a $100 winner for one of you who actually engaged and commented this week in one of the videos. So I'm going to go ahead and click start here. This is totally random. And the winner is JJ. JJ, nice, easy name, great video. I'm thinking we might see 9K, 8,200 definitely in play though. So JJ, I will find your comment. I'll go ahead and say, hey, leave your Bitcoin address so we can send you $100 in the next couple of days. Again, if you want to win $100 of Bitcoin, please feel free to comment or engage in our videos each and every week. We do pick one winner every week, and we love to give out probably the most sound money that has ever been created, right, is Bitcoin. And we like to think that that's the best thing that we can give our viewers instead of other things. So, and last but not least, right, we want to talk about Phemex really quick. Again, when it comes to margin trading, we feel like this is going to be a spectacular platform. And so for me, I'll go ahead and share with you what I've shared with the team and what they're working on. Basically, when it comes to this platform, this UI, it's not ugly, but there could be improvements. And specifically with this space up above right here, what's going to happen is they're going to move all this out of the way, probably put it in the header, move up the chart, the order book, an order entry area. They're going to move this up, bring up everything else, I think, to make the leverage a little bit smaller. A lot of it is rather big, and you can condense it down. If you're trying to trade 50% of your position and you click this, it doesn't stay blue. So again, it's just for people to know how much of the position that they're actually trading, as well as the post only, reduce to only, and good till cancel. That would be great if a box could pop up to actually tell people what those are. Because again, if you're newer to trading, you're going to want to know what post only is, reduce only, good till cancel. As far as the order book, it's hard to kind of search through the order book. So again, to get a little bit more in-depth analysis of the order book, to be able to scroll through it more, asking for that as well. And so they're going to actually take the feedback and work on it a little bit more, continue to design a really attractive platform. Again, we are not paid by Phemex whatsoever. We do have an affiliate link. And so just to let you know about Phemex, super promising exchange. We just don't share any products. We do like Bybit, and then we like Phemex as well when it comes to what they're able to offer as far as the scalability, the speed, as well as the security compared to traditional crypto exchanges. And it's rare that you find a team with this much experience who have built platforms for institutional trading, and for them to be able to get into the crypto markets and to be able to develop an exchange like this, it's really promising. So we're going to stand behind that. We believe that there's some good things to come. There were some people who are known to be shillers that tend to share quite often, really any and every product, who have shared this already. I'm not going to let that deter from the overall value of what this can be. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of play it by ear, but keep in track with the Phemex team, talk to the CEO, meet with them, see what they can continue to do as far as to bring value, to continue to have a good brand, have an excellent trading platform and continue to build up the volume and liquidity. So with that said, that's a little bit more about Phemex. If you want to try it out, Phemex.trade. Again, we are not paid by them whatsoever. We do have an affiliate link if you'd like to check that out. But otherwise, that's it. So again, congratulations to JJ for winning the $100 of Bitcoin. If you do have any questions, you can find us on Twitter. That's Canner and Clark and Josh_Rager. So hope you guys have a great end of your weekend. We look forward to seeing you soon, and make sure you guys to trade safe and effectively. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.